Okay, it's that time of the month where I have to make a noir intro and I don't have energy, but I'm gonna coffee and I'll be ready to go. Tonight, we are showing on 35mm Crack Up. Crack Up, starring Pat O'Brien. I'm gonna read this damn thing. I wrote it. Pat O'Brien was a big star in the 30s. He was a co-star frequently to Jimmy Cagney, and he was in a movie people know called Newt Rockney All-American, and he gave a speech where he says, "Do it for the Gipper," and Ronald Reagan, I guess, was the Gipper, and so then they used that in Ronald Reagan's campaign. So when you hear people refer to Ronald Reagan as the Gipper, they're talking about something Pat O'Brien, who's the star of this movie Crack Up, said. Pat O'Brien is good. I used to see him and not be like, what's this guy's deal? I saw some stuff of him in the 30s, and he could just spit that dialogue out. I saw him in a movie called Bombshell.
An Italian.
I don't care if he speaks Eskimo. I don't like him. Tell him to get off.
He's got royal blood in these
I don't
things.
care if he's got a royal flush in his kidneys. Tell him to scram.
And I go, this guy's great. And I go, oh, that's Pat O'Brien. Okay, I see what his thing is. 30s, they talked a little faster. And they yelled. They just spit those words right out. Because he's in a lot of movies with Jimmy Cagney, who would also spit the words out real fast like that. So they must really been spitting those words out fast with each other like that.
The Magneto Black got loose. You got loose, and Al Stone's loose, and he knows all about it. Who told him? I don't know. He got the report in Cleveland. He guessed the rest. He wanted to fire you. Fire me? Since when can he fire anybody? He runs the airline.
I found a clip of him as an old guy, and he can still say those speeches as an old guy.
Now, the most essential thing in football today is blocking, and when you hit a man, cut him down like a sack of wheat.
What a talent. What a talent. So anyway, he's the star of this movie, and I think he's a little more subdued. Maybe that was the trend in the film noir era. Pat O'Brien, I used to get him mixed up with Edmund O'Brien. Not Edmund O'Brien, it's Pat O'Brien. Tonight's showing with Pat O'Brien, but easy to get him confused with Edmund O'Brien. If you don't watch these movies enough, you can get him confused with Edmund O'Brien. Edmund O'Brien is in a bunch of noir films. I think Edmund O'Brien is a little more synonymous with noir than Pat O'Brien, but tonight we got Pat O'Brien. Pat O'Brien played a lot of, he was an Irishman, and he played a lot of priests and stuff, and tough priests and tough guy priests. Father Priest. In this film, Crack Up plays curator for a museum and a forgery expert. He works for an art museum. He's a World War II veteran, so you know he's got a little, he's kind of screwy from the war. This film deals with the familiar noir theme of not yet referred to as, this film deals with the familiar noir theme as what was not this film deals with the familiar noir theme as what was not yet referred to as PTSD, a metaphor for amnesia. Amnesia is the metaphor for this film noir deals with the familiar theme of what was not yet referred to as PTSD through the metaphor of amnesia. It was that easy. Except seems to be in this everyone else who is in a fog, not our protagonist. You know, I only saw it one other time, and while it's honestly kind of was confusing and hard to follow what was going on, which is okay by me in a film noir. I don't need to follow a plot every time. It checks a lot of cool boxes. Stylishness. I mean, there is a sequence on a train that is so cool. The visuals are just, it's just like, we're gonna see it on the big screen, baby. That train, this movie's got a train. It's all about a train. It's all about a train. Who likes traveling by train? Trains are great. The American way to travel. The best American way to travel, if you ask me. Trains. We need a train in Oklahoma. We need a train from Tulsa to Oklahoma City. Can we get that here? Who's in charge? Is someone here in charge that can get us a train from Tulsa to Oklahoma City? That would be so nice. To get these cities together, wouldn't that be great? So this film's set in the art world. There's a few film noirs set in the art world, or they refer to art. There's The Woman in the Window, Scarlet Street, The Two Mrs. Carrolls, Laura, just to name a few. Back then, it was common for Hollywood films to take jabs at contemporary art and psychology, aggressive, things like that. And you'll notice they do that. Eddie Muller from PCM, he points out, which I was gonna point out if he hadn't pointed out, but I watched his thing and he pointed it out, but I was gonna point it out. This film is mocking some artistic movements, but film noir itself is an artistic movement. It doesn't even know it's part of an artistic movement itself. But it was this trend back then for Hollywood to, like, an anti-intellectualism, which kind of persists today in some films.
Stand down. Hey! What did I just say?
You know, probably an effort to pander to the middle of the country. You guys don't need to be pandered to.
You forget my whole career is at stake.
That was my life.
The film also stars Trevor, who's often cast as a femme fatale. She's more on the good girl side this time. She's always doing something whack. She's in the movie Stagecoach. Every time you see Trevor, she's in Stagecoach as the as the whore. She's kind of one of the queens of film noir. She's in Raw Deal. She's in Murder My Sweet. She's in Born to Kill. Claire Trevor.
Your ego's a little bruised because for once you don't know all the answers, but there's nothing wrong with your mind.
This movie, Crack Up, it's a lesser discussed film. It might be hard to follow. We'll see. But it doesn't matter. That's the thing. Doesn't matter, we're enjoying Claire Trevor, who's always doing something interesting, and we're enjoying Pat O'Brien, who's a little more subdued. He's not gonna be spitting it out like he usually does.
Fire on the backfield, hit that line, right side, left side, right, left, right. I want to go down that field, right down that field. They can't stop us, nobody can stop us. I want you to go. Go. Put out a name.
And it's an RKO film. Got dreamy stuff. That's what's cool, is that there's dreamy stuff. We don't get enough dreamy noir nights, do we? Dreamy on 35mm, baby. Also, I think crack up is a term that used to refer to a train crash and a cuckoo. Oh, another thing, Pat O'Brien in the 40s, he spent a lot of time entertaining the troops, and my grandfather, who was overseas during World War II, and my grandfather, who was a veteran, used to say, Pat O'Brien entertained us, and I met Pat O'Brien, and I would say, who the hell is Pat O'Brien? The star of this movie was best friends with my grandpa. You better enjoy it. Okay, enjoy the film, and thanks for coming.